Welcome back to OPTCG Central, your hub for all things One Piece card game related. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps us bring you more One Piece TCG matches and more.
Of the meta, but it's very good into Emu, especially if you have the dice. It's like super good into Emu. However, now if he can dodge all the A's, which is possible, there are so much Emu.
Yeah, again, we don't have the numbers, but just kind of having a look around the top tables and talking to people, it seems like, as expected, it's Emu, Ace, Zoro. That was the list we were expecting, and you can see at the screen here, we do have an Emu coming in this round. We've got Emu, and we've got that Luffy, but a different Luffy, EBO1 Luffy, green-purple Luffy.
Yes, the green-purple Luffy, such a good deck, so many wins on his belt. Like, I'm curious if he did find a way to play against Ace and play against Emu. Those are the two most important decks. I can't imagine that you try a deck and you didn't play him against, like, I don't know how many games into Ace and into Emu. And
honestly, if I could find a deck right now, and I can't, I don't think anyone can, but if I could find a deck with a really good win rate against those two decks, don't even test anything else, just bring that here, because right now they are the big bad boogeymen of the format. There's plenty of other decks out there. We'll see if any can break through. Maybe one of them is going to be Luffy, but we are set up. It looks like we're very close to being ready to go. There's the fist bump, and we are rolling with round 4 action here in Düsseldorf. Luffy goes first with 1 Dawn that we're going to use for a Nami to go and search a Straw Hat.
A lot of targets, I think even 5 targets. So this must mean that Emu won the dice. Emu is going second. Green-purple definitely doesn't mind to go second, especially because of that Sanji Pudding and Zorojuro being able to play that in 1 turn. But I do know a lot of people and a lot of green-purple Luffys are very excited to see that there's a green-purple Luffy still undefeated going trio and playing into Emu. Sadly, the Tsunami doesn't play the Zoro for free.
I was going to say, that needs to come off the thing. Yeah, you get to search the Zoro. That is one of their new Zoros, one of them brand new OP13 cards, but that's going to go to hand. Emu, of course, do remember that because of that leader skill, you do start with that stage on the board. You don't have to play it. You do have to play Saint Sharia, and that is what I like to call a generic searcher, this time for Celestial Dragons.
Yep. Really good. Also to fill up the trash. And I do think the Elder that will be the most important one, at least, will be Mars. Mars being able to KO a 5-cost, which is very strong, especially if there is a stage for green-purple Luffy. Well, if there is no stage, I have to say. If there's no stage, yeah, Mars is just so good into Sanji Pudding, Zorojuro. The Zoro that we just saw, the 4-cost, which restands at the end of your turn.
We've already hit 7 cards in the trash, so that means that all of those lovely cannot be removed skills on those Gorosei will be activated, which is, yeah, that's what you want to do nice and early doors when you're playing Emu, honestly. Yep. And it seems to be there now, so how can Luffy respond to this?
Yep. I can imagine that people also played a lot against green-purple Luffy, but not in this format. I'm not sure if people know what their game plan is as Emu or as Ace into green-purple Luffy. Because you have to consider a lot of things. The restand Luffy, they can go very wide with Sanji Pudding, Zorojuro. There's definitely a lot to think of.
Well, it does seem like Nami has unfortunately fallen to Emu, which is not that surprising. Nami is not that big a character. And then it looks like we are finally getting one of those 5 elders down on the board. That Nuzjuro's coming down. Is it?
Nope.
No, it's just searched out. There we go. But it's not Nuzjuro. We are, in fact, talking Topman Walkyrie.
Yes, he's also playing the nice alt-arts. It feels like a team in finals today. All the Emus prepared not only their gameplay with Emu, but also their decks.
I'm not seeing many regular arts of the Gorosei. They all seem to be alternate art. Everyone's gone and got the lot of them at this point. Now, we are going to see a swing with the Luffy leader. Just tentative little swing there. And, okay, we can use an event card to get rid of that. That's absolutely fine.
Grabs back a 2K, which is also super good. So, of course, Chirahoshi, such a good card in a lot of matchups. And we don't have the Sanji Pudding on curve.
Well, we do see a Nami coming down. That is going to go and search out, well, more Straw Hat, honestly. There we have some targets.
Yep. But what are we looking for? Still no Sanji Pudding, I think.
We want Sanji Pudding. That replenishes your Don when it goes away. You've got a lot of Don minor skills. Replenishing it immediately with Sanji Pudding. Such a huge advantage, such a big part of the deck. And when you, like you say, when you don't get it on curve, that does start becoming a little bit of a problem.
It's the heart of the deck. That's a little bit a problem. Sanji Pudding being able so you don't minus too much Don cards. It's so important. So many players also with this deck having amazing results back to back to back. So I'm not surprised that people are still trying to play it. The deck will also get support in upcoming formats, so people are already cooking, as we call it, to make this deck work again, because you are a green-purple Straw Hat deck. You have access to Giant. You have, well, 2 different Namis that can search. You have so much, and that recent Luffy, that card is just insane.
Yeah, that's pretty gosh darn good. Well, we did see another Sharia come down. I think we got...
I don't think we have a Mars, so that's the good news for...
No, we saw Shepherd Jupiter, but I've not seen a Mars yet.
Oh, I see the Mars now.
Oh, that's not good. Well, I suppose it's good for Pablo, not quite so good for Leonard. We do see the Mars coming down here, and that means you can just go and start popping off some of those characters. Trash card from your hand to KO a base cost 5 or lower. And bad news is that Sanji, which came down, is unfortunately a base cost of 5. So that's where things start getting a little bit awkward. We see Leonard here really struggling to get much of a board set up at all. Still no Sanji Pudding. And yeah, now having a little bit of a look. Do we have 19 cards? No, we're not there yet.
That's still far away, I think.
Yeah, I think we are quite far.
However, sometimes it goes so fast, you're like, oh, what?
I think we had 7 on turn 1 here from Pablo.
Well, so it's definitely possible so fast.
Well, when you get to 19, your leader goes from a 5k to a 6k, which is absolutely huge. And not many decks play any stage removal. So once it goes to a 6k EMU leader, it's going to stay a 6k leader.
Yeah, really good. Luckily for us, it's only 6k in their own turn. Glad Imu is strong enough. Don't do it, Bandai.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. On your turn is enough. But it's still an extra 1,000 power you can swing towards your opponent. It is still a rather big advantage. So here we come. There's your Sanji and Pudding. Although the base cost 5 worries me a little bit. But we have the Sanji Pudding down.
We are hoping for no second Mars, because it seems that we don't have a stage in hand.
Now we see a swing with the Luffy. Just a tentative swing, only 5k. You don't need to do too much to get around this. Any counter will do. You've got no blocker, but any counter will do. I lied to you. You do have a blocker. You got Walkery down there.
Yes.
But I still don't think you want to block it with that. Okay.
It feels too cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. Second Sanji Pudding.
This we like. Means you can protect a little bit against removal. Means you get 2 Don back when a Don gets returned.
Yep.
So that is going to keep your Don ticking along rather nicely indeed. 3 Zoro in hand for Leonard here. So they could, they can start coming down at some point. Zoro can start doing some work.
And maybe he already had the Sanji Pudding, but he decided that he wants to play 2 in 1 turn and try to bait the Mars from the Emu side to get rid of the Sanji. So he was like, okay, I'm going to play the 5-cost green Sanji first. If they Mars, it's perfect, because the turn after I can do double Sanji Pudding. And if they don't have a second Mars, you are in a very good spot, or at least in a better spot.
Well, there's no second Mars. You are in a better spot. And if you were trying to bait it out, it went quite nicely. Shepherd Jupiter comes and hits the board. Yep. But right now...
no swing.
Although it is worth noting there are 10 cards in the trash. So now all of those 5 Elders, their base power will be at 7,000 now. For as long as that Jupiter is out. Get rid of that and they will go back down to 5. So.
What is the easy way to get rid of it? I think the only way really easy, and that's actually not easy to be honest, is something like Demon Aura, rest it and swing onto it, but that is way too expensive.
Oh, I agree.
Uh,
You're right. It's the easiest way. I don't think it's an easy way. And that is a bit of a problem. Not having a good removal for the Shepherd Jupiter here does mean that you're going to have, extra 2k on all of those Gorosei for a while at this stage. So,
I am thinking if I agree with starving green purple Luffy. I'm going to be honest, I haven't played this matchup a lot in OP13. However, if you starve Emu, you are basically giving them a free 6-cost Luffy, restand Luffy, which can draw a card from your own life and restand if you get 2 Don back to your Don deck. So it's basically when you play it into Bonnie, when you play it in every deck that played like Hody, like do you starve and give them their Hody for, well, a little bit less of a cost? Or are you still swinging, and if they use the Luffy, they are on the clock? Imagine if they're at 1 life or 2 lives right now. Playing this Luffy is scary into 3 characters with 7k and the leader.
absolutely. Well, we do see the Secret Rare Luffy coming down. That is going to have Rush because you do have, there is 5 Dom. Your opponent's got 5 Dom. And that's quite nice. And of course, it does come active when you attack. And like you say, you got to pick up life, but your opponent hasn't been taking any life yet. So it just doesn't feel as bad.
It actually feels really good because you also want the cards on your hand to protect your board.
Well, that too.
So if he can protect both Sanji Puddings and the Luffy next turn, he is in a really good spot. But this is a lot of 7Ks. To be exact, 4.
Yeah, 4 7Ks is going to be a real pain to try and actually deal with, which, well, you're going to have to get through it at some point. You've only got your opponent down to 3 life, so you're not that close to winning. And that means that your opponent is going to be able to do something with those 7Ks. Here comes a Sanji Pudding swing. Just force your opponent to start using some of those 1-cost events here.
Yep, really good for him. I wouldn't be surprised if we leave some Don open as well for the green-purple Luffy side, because we have so many good defense tools.
Leave your Don open, use them on your opponent's turn, get rid of some of those pesky attacks. Could be fun. Are we using some of them here? No, we're just restanding them.
Yep,
with
Zoro restanding 2 Don. So
yes,
basically a 5k body for only 2 Don. Also restanding. It's mandatory, by the way, at the end of your turn if you swung with it. Very important because sometimes, as you see, they are starving you, so they don't want to hit your life total or your life cards.
Oh, a second Zoro. That's going to stand 2 more Don on play. And like you say, they both will become active at the end of your turn. It is mandatory. So that means that your opponent can't go after them. They got 5k bodies. They're not too shabby. Here comes a Luffy swing. 7k swing with Luffy.
Yep, and he is using the ability, so we don't have active Don, it seems. Do we have another event? Ooh, I don't think so. That's, of course, a little bit the punishment, I'm going to call it, for using his plus 3k event for a 5k swing a little bit earlier.
There's still a 7k swing coming out from the Luffy. It's still something that we are going to have to see answered here in some way, or maybe you just take the life.
And this is also a lot of info, of course, for the green-purple Luffy, that there is no event currently in hand for Emu.
So Pablo there, we do just see... We see a swing here?
Yep, 7k swing,
yeah,
easy counter.
Go. Countered by the Zoro there.
We are at 10 Don, so as Emu you feel a little bit stronger at that point.
Oh, absolutely. We see a Don on the Emu. And then another swing, it looks like.
It's definitely 19 right now. So...
Oh, there we go. So you do get up the 1k. So that's 7k swing from the leader here.
A little bit weird that we are swinging 7 with the leader right now, because you are going to play your 10 cost. That means you will have Noshiro in play. And attack something minus 2k another thing if you want to. Or if they protect the Luffy from your Noshiro swing, you can still swing the 7 with your leader. Like, you have less options right now, in my opinion, after your Noshiro's attack. However, the green-purple Luffy doesn't have a lot of cards in hand because, yeah, they didn't attack live.
No, and that's the thing. When your opponent, you talk about starving, what we mean there is when you just don't attack into your opponent's life, so they don't get that card advantage of getting to pick up those cards. Some leaders can take their own life, most leaders can't, and that just means that you kind of leave your opponent with fewer options, so they're not countering as easily, they're maybe not drawing in some of the cards they want to. It can make things a little more awkward.
We'll use the counter. It's
Now we do see a counter there with the Usohachi.
Can of course still swing with the Mars, because the Mars will be replaced when we play the 10 cost.
Yes, it will.
Ooh, that's a 9.
That is a 9k swing from Mars here. Is that into Sanji Pudding? It's going to take a lot to counter out of this. Now you just got to give up the Sanji Pudding. It's not worth the effort of trying to counter out of it with the resources you've got available. So you give that one up.
That's a bad sign if we have to let it go for 2 cards, because you know they will have 10 cost and they will play Noshiro from the 10 cost. And that means the second hit you can't protect either. And Mars will also at least take care of one body.
Absolutely. Now we see our first 5 Elders of the game. That
4.
ridiculous card, which goes and gets, well,
No.
could be 5 Elders with different names. We are unfortunately missing one. Someone's late to the party.
Where is Mr. Saturn? No search. That is quite painful, because now you actually are going -1 in hand. You're not drawing from the Saturn.
That is a little bit of a pain. For those that may be less familiar with the deck, that 5 Elders card lets you basically rest it on, trash card from your hand, and then trash all of your characters, but then just play the 5 Elders from your trash. It's an absurd card. But if you've only got 4, you only get to play 4. That is less than ideal.
And suddenly it looks very bad for the green-purple Luffy.
Yeah, Leonard there is facing down a board of 4 of the 5 Elders. You do have your 2 Zoro, but that's all you've got at the moment. There's a blocker on the board for Pablo and Emu, and just a bunch of 7Ks that are going to be coming at you next turn.
Is Emu only at 1 card? Because we do have Demon Aura in hand, and they are tapped out, so no events. So in some worlds, you just have to go for it right now. Play Aura, rest, Mars and Valkyrie, and just go for it with your leader. Well, then your leader ability, so your leader's a 6k base, and then you just split your dons. That might be an option. We are at 8 Dawn. We are not surviving, potentially. Well, you can survive with Giant. Giant helps a lot, but I think this is your window.
I think you're right. Basically what you're saying is things are about to start going downhill.
Yes,
and probably downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially if they have a second 10 cost.
And your opponent's got 2 life, and you've got 3 swings. So there is a world here in which your leader and both your Zoro swings go through, and it might be a low odds chance of actually going through and winning, but if you're going to lose next turn or the turn after anyway, why not just try and swing with these 3 here? And if you end up sneaking these 3 attacks through, you sit there at 4-0, you take down an Emu, and you start feeling a lot better about your tournament chances. Well, here is a Demon Aura you pointed out, Ruben, and it is obviously those 2 getting rested down.
Yep. If it's 1 card in hand, I think this is your best option.
And there's the leader skill. And I think, I don't want to speak too early, I think we might be about to split some Dawn here.
Ooh, he takes a 6. He takes a 6. That was a gamble, because if that last card, I don't know if we did see him search it, but if it was a 2k, we would have lost, and...
There we go. So here we see a big swing, and did he counter out of it?
No, he won. Green-purple Luffy won.
Oh my word, he actually managed it. Wasn't very much, wasn't a very high chance play, but it was one of those where you say, look, I've got 3 swings, my opponent's got 2 life. I'm looking at your board, it's looking really bad for me. I don't like my chances next turn. I am betting on your hand not being quite good enough.
Well,
and
it was
only
only 1 card.
Good enough.
It was 1 card. How good can the hand be? It needed to be specifically a 2k, because he was tapped out. There was no chance of an event.
Nope.
So he did do a small gamble, unless we searched for it. That was really hard to see for us. But if he searched for a 1k, he knew the hand of his opponent. So he swung 6, and if it was a 2K, he would have lost probably because there was no rush character anymore. But yeah, he